Hi, I'm Ava. Hi, I'm Giselle.
And I'm Mr. McGrail. I am lucky enough to be joined here by two star students who are going to help us with our video today. First off, you might notice that our audio quality is a little bit lower today, and that's because we're actually filming in school and I don't have my microphone with me. But let's go ahead and get started on lesson 6.5. Ava, can you please read our learning target for us today?
Sure. I can investigate patterns in vertical and horizontal lines and interpret points on the plane as distances from the axis.
So what that means is when we are constructing points on a coordinate plane, we're going to see that they make a line, and we're going to see how we know if it makes a vertical or a horizontal line. Let's go ahead and let's get started with problem number 1. The materials that you will need today in order to be successful are the paper that I handed out to you on Thursday. So if you didn't get one, make sure that you're following along on lined paper so that you can complete all of the work that we do together. Let's get started. Okay, on question number 1, you'll notice that we have a blank coordinate plane and 5 blank coordinates that we need to fill in. So here's what we are going to do. As I label these points on my grid, please make sure that you label them as well. We are going to start by labeling point H. Now, point H is going to be, let me pick a beautiful color. Giselle, what color should I pick for this one? This color blue?
Yes.
Perfect. Okay, so point H is going to be located, its x coordinate is going to be 4, and its y coordinate is going to be 3. So its coordinates are going to be 4, 3. And if I start at my origin, I'm noticing that each jump, well, 5 jumps takes me to 5, so each jump must be worth what? 1. Wait, 1/5 or 1?
1 hole.
Just 1 hole, ladies and gentlemen. We are ready to jump 1 hole. So we need to jump 1, 2, 3, 4, and we need to go up 1, 2, 3. Now I'm going to put a big dot, and I'm going to label that point H. Please do that on your paper now. Let's label another coordinate. I'm going to label this point I. Giselle, can you please give me the coordinates for point I?
The x-axis is 10 and the y-axis is 3.
So that makes our coordinate pair 10, 3. And so I'm going to go 10 to the right, and I'm going to go 3 up, and I'm going to label that point I. Our next point is point J. Ava, would you like to read our coordinates for point J?
The x-coordinate is going to be 8, and the y-coordinate is going to be 3.
Which makes our coordinates 8, 3. 5, 6, 7, 8. And that is point J. Do you guys notice anything about the points that we have just labeled?
All of the points that we have just labeled have a y-axis of 3.
So yeah, I can see this when I'm looking at our chart. My y-coordinates are all 3. I also noticed something about our dots. Giselle, do you notice something about the dots that we've drawn?
Something that I noticed about the dots is that they're all on the same line. They're parallel to the same
They
line.
all go in one straight line. Let's see if we can label K and L, and let's see what else we can learn from this. The coordinates from point L are, what are they, Giselle?
For point L, they are...
Sorry, point K, I'm getting ahead of myself.
For point K, the coordinates are x-axis is 1 and y-axis is 3.
So our coordinate pair will be 1, 3. Let's label it right here. And that was point K, and yep, it's on the same line. And lastly, point L, Ava?
The x-coordinate is going to be 6, and the y-coordinate is 3.
So our coordinate pair is 6, 3. 1, 3, 4, 5, 6 up 3. And that was point L. Now, as I'm looking at this, I notice that this line goes in the same direction as our x-axis. If it goes in the same direction and it never crosses the x-axis, do you guys remember what that's called?
It's called parallel lines.
So I'm sorry, go ahead.
So each point on the first line is parallel to the y-axis.
So the line that is created by these points is parallel to the, you said?
To the x-axis.
Okay, good catch. So this line is actually parallel to the x-axis. If it's parallel to the x-axis, that means it hits the y-axis at a right angle. Do you guys remember what that's called when two lines intersect at a right angle?
Perpendicular.
That is correct. It is perpendicular to the y-axis. So I'm noticing that if the y-coordinate doesn't change, this line is always going to be exactly 3 units from the x-axis, which will make it parallel. So let's take a look at a slightly different coordinate plane and see if we can learn something else. So just to repeat, the y coordinates are all the same, so it's parallel to the x-axis. Let's take a look at a different problem. So here we notice something similar, but also something different. Giselle, what's similar in these coordinates that we have?
What's similar about the coordinates that we have is that the x-axis, they're all the same, but the y-axis, they're all different.
So let's make a prediction. Last time when all of the y coordinates were the same, it was parallel to the x-axis. What do you think this line's going to look like?
I think that this line is going to be parallel to the y-axis.
So you mean that it's going to be going up and down?
Yes.
All right, let's check and see. The coordinates for point D, please label this with us, ladies and gentlemen. Ava, what are the coordinates for point D?
The coordinates for point D are 2 and 1/2, 0.
So here's 2 and here's 3. So 1/2, each leap is going to be 1/2. So, and I don't have to go up at all. So I'm just going to label that right there. And I'm going to label that point D. And Giselle, what are the coordinates for point E?
Point E's coordinates are x-axis is 2 and 1/2, and y-axis is 2.
All right. And I'm going to label that point E. And then finally, Ava, the coordinates for point F.
The x-axis is going to be 2 and 1/2, and the y-coordinate is going to be 4.
4. So let's label that up there. And I'll label that F. Ava, you had made a prediction earlier about the shape of this line. Were you correct?
Yes.
Can you please explain what's happening in our line as I draw it?
In this line, it is parallel to the y-axis because they're both going up and down and they will never intersect.
And that is because each point is always going to be 2.5 units away from the y-axis. So Giselle, that means that this line is what to the x-axis?
This line is perpendicular to the x-axis.
Very good. So I'm noticing that when the x-coordinate is always the same, it's parallel to the y-axis. When the y-coordinate is always the same, it's parallel to the x-axis. Please turn your paper over and take a look at the problem on the back, and let's see if we can continue to expand our knowledge. So here is your job. There are many right answers to this question. Your job is to construct a line that is parallel. Which one? X or y-axis? Your choice.
Y-axis.
Okay. All right. So let's construct a line that is, okay, I'm going to write this down for you. Oh, no. Parallel to the y-axis. That means that all of your x coordinates need to be the same. Moving on. So it is your job to come up with 3 points A, B, and C that are parallel to the y-axis, meaning that it goes up and down, and it is perpendicular to the x-axis. Remember, here is your x-axis, here is your y-axis. I can't wait to see what you guys have done on Friday. Would you guys like to have any closing words?
We hope you do great.
She's giving a thumbs up to the camera.
Try your best.
And have a beautiful day. Thanks for joining us.